Escape is a 1999 PlayStation title, widely known as the first PlayStation game released in North America which required the use of the analog DualShock controller. The game simply would not work with a regular controller. It was a first-party game developed by SCE Japan, or Sony Computer Entertainment Japan, and over the years it has gained a cult following of fans. The game mostly turned heads then, and still today, because one of the best ways to describe it was simply to call it so very Japanese. And the late 90s was a time when young American gamers were clamoring to out-Japan one another. The game is a single-player platforming action game, played in 3D environments where you play as Spike, who needs to explore the different 3D levels and capture many escaped monkeys. You have a special net with which you can catch the monkeys, and a collection of gadgets you can equip at any time to help you on your quest, whether in the form of a detection device, long-range weapons, shields, or the trusty stun baton you start the game with. As you progress through the game, new items are sent to you to help you catch the monkeys who have escaped from a theme park. But keep an eye out, the monkeys themselves get equipped with better and better gear to try and prevent you from nabbing them in your net. Between levels, you are taken to a hub world where you can save your game, review your records, replay training missions if you've forgotten how a device works, or play some mini-games. Despite its age, Ape Escape's graphics have held up rather well over the years. Although, sure, the monkeys you catch mostly look the same. The other enemy creatures are interesting, and the environments are excellent. The textures on the 3D models are sharp, and although some areas may experience slowdowns, I was extremely impressed with the beautiful details and sprawling size they were able to make for some areas. Most of the levels, however, are typically made up of smaller areas joined together with occasional load points. These keep load times low and the game plays smoother and faster. Still, although the average load-free area may not be as big as, say, a Super Mario 64 level, they were still large enough to allow for some verticality and exploration. Additionally, the overall size of a level, including sections you could only access once you had certain items in your inventory, made return visits to a level an absolute necessity if you were a completionist. The biggest issue with the graphics can be the occasional pop-in of a character model, even though the level draw distance seems to be going beyond where the character is. Although the voice acting is subpar, it's the kind of bad acting and worse editing that lends itself to the charm and the cult following this franchise developed. The sequels of the game often brought back the same voice actors to reprise their roles. The voices are definitely crisp and clear, which even for CD-based games was relatively unusual at the time. Most games featured heavy compression on voices. The music definitely feels pushed into the background to me, and I rarely tend to notice it. But that's not to say it's bad by any means. In fact, it's just another thing that fans of this game absolutely love. When I mentioned how this game was so very Japanese, for a demonstration of what I mean, look no further than the video which plays right after you power your console up. Like any cheesy sci-fi flick with a cult following, Ape Escape had to have something more than cute graphics and bad acting to win over the hearts of its fans. So let's dive into the instruction manual to find out how the story begins. Monkey Mayhem. Spike, can you hear me? It's Natalie. We've warped through the time station and you're miles, well actually centuries away. The good news is that the professor's time station is a huge success. The bad news is you, Jake, and a wild band of mean monkeys are lost in the past. I'm sorry we weren't able to explain what was going on in the lab before you were transported away, but we were tied up. Anyway, the professor and I were about to test the time station because it seemed like we were pretty close to making it work, when all of a sudden, the door flew open and a gang of monkeys ran in and took control. They were all wearing the peak point helmets that the professor had created. Their leader is Spectre, that sly little simian from the amusement park. Somehow he got a hold of the peak point helmet, and his intelligence level is unbelievable. While they were tying us up, I heard Spectre ranting about changing history. He's going to make the monkeys the masters of the world, and put all the humans in the amusement park. We need you to stop them. You're our only hope. But beware, with their helmets on, the monkeys are much smarter than you think. The professor's putting the final touches on some new gadgets. We'll send you those as quickly as possible. In the meantime, watch out for those apes. Oh my goodness. I don't even know how someone comes up with this one. And the best part, honestly, there are a lot of details further in the manual. If you notice on page 6, there's even a mention that you should never give up the time net. A reminder that yes, you can unequip it in the game if you actually wanted to. It wouldn't be wise, but it's something you can do. It's almost like the manual's admitting there's a bug in the game. The game's intro, while lengthy, doesn't seem quite as detailed as the manual. Some items are glossed right over, such as the peak point helmet, which caused the superintelligence of Spectre. It's basically only briefly mentioned. Here, let's take a look.
Hey, Spike, did the professor finish the time station yet? Are we gonna get to go back in time?
He said he'd be finished with it today. Let's go.
I can't wait to check out the dinosaurs. And what about the future?
Yeah, we'll keep talking because I'm going first.
That's not fair. Hey, wait up.
Better hurry up. I'll see you there.
Hey, Professor! Spike, Jake, over here. Watch out.
Spike, the time station!
No, run you two. It works. It actually works. We did it, Natalie. We did it. The time station is complete.
We don't have time for celebrating. We've got to do something.
Although I'm tempted to think of most of this as just a very loose framework, a backdrop for a game about catching monkeys in a net, there's more to it than that. Once you start playing and progressing through the game, you unlock more videos and learn more about the sinister plans of Spectre and what happened to your friend Jake. That's right, it's not just a beginning and an ending, but a whole story that comes to life as you work your way through enough levels to keep you wrapped up in this game for days. Although I had never played Ape Escape before, I can see why the game has a following. And despite the fact that it gets eye rolls and snickers from some people, when it comes to a storyline for their game, it may have been a bit on the side of absurd, but there was definitely no monkey business when it came to our story so far. Hey everyone, that was episode 37 of Our Story So Far TV. You already know I'm going to ask you to like, comment, and subscribe, but feel free to start up a conversation with me over on Twitter, @NewAngel, that's NUANGEL. If you're looking for more episodes, the easiest place to start is over at ourstorysofar.tv. As long as I can keep up my usual schedule, I'll have a new episode ready for you again in 2 weeks. Until next time, take care of yourself.